Hello, good evening, and welcome to the first ever Sports Junkie podcast. This is it. You're here. Congratulations. Give me a hand. Give me a hand. Give me a hand. Look at that. Look at that. Thank you. Stop. Stop. Thank you. Keep going. No, it's okay. That fell. I would like to personally welcome you to the first ever Sports Junkie podcast. This is it. We're live here. I am your host, Adam Sports Junkie Khan. That's it. That's my name. And we are coming to you live from the greatest city on earth, the city that never sleeps, Pullman, Washington. Cricket. What's that? I'm sorry. 99% of you have no idea where that is? Yeah, that seems about right. It is on the campus of Washington State University on the east side of the state of Washington. Yeah, makes sense why you do not know where that is, because you shouldn't. Let's see here. I gotta know where I am, and here we go. You saw that 20-minute timer I started in the beginning of the segment. That's because on our show, what I like to do is start a timer. And that's how long we're going to go for the show. When that 20 minutes goes off, no matter where we are, no matter what we're talking about, it could be in the middle of a sentence, there could be an earthquake going on, I'm going to stop the show. That's it, we're done. I will see you next week. That's how we're going to do it. Are you guys ready to go? I need to hear some noise. Are you guys ready to go? That's it. That's what I wanted to hear. There you are. All right. We are going to get this show on the road. All right, let's do it. So I'm going to start every podcast with the worst thing I heard on TV about sports. And that this week is going to come from one of my favorite analysis, Skip Bayless, on the show Undisputed on FS1. And what Skip said, he was talking about the national championship game for football. What he was talking about was how Alabama was not able to run the ball on Georgia in the national championship game, and how Oklahoma did such a good job running, and they had almost 300 rushing yards for the game, which is very impressive against a very good Georgia defense. And where Skip is wrong about this is where I'm going to begin. First of all, he's wrong because Georgia was preparing for one guy and one guy only. And his name, you guys know his name. His name is Baker Mayfield. Maybe you've heard of him. You probably have. He is the quarterback for Oklahoma. And he is also the Heisman winner and the winner of many other awards this past year. And when you're preparing for a team, you are going to try to eliminate their best player. And that is what Georgia's plan was. They probably spent 15 to 20% of their time on the run and probably 80 to 85% on that man alone. So where I'm going with this is Oklahoma ran the ball really well because they were able to stop Baker Mayfield in the second half especially. Baker did throw for over 200 yards in the first half, but he did not get much going in the second half, and that's also where the run game seemed to disappear for Oklahoma. As for Alabama, they were not able to run the ball on Georgia. Oh, you want to know why? Because Alabama is not known for their quarterback. They're known for their running backs. And what did Georgia do? They took that away. There you go. They took it away. Just like how they took Baker Mayfield away, and then their run game started for Oklahoma. Exact same thing. But then, as we all saw, because we all watched that game, Alabama switched their quarterback in the second half. They turned to a true freshman by the name of Tua Tagovailoa, who was not even supposed to go to Alabama. He was originally committed to sign somewhere else, but then changed his mind after his visit to Alabama. So, fun fact for you. And so you're throwing in a true freshman who's never played when the lead was, when the lead was over 10 for Alabama in the second half. And he gets thrown in there, trailing at this point. And he leads a comeback and throws for 166 yards and 3 touchdowns against one of the best defenses in the nation. And maybe that's because they did not prepare for him. Georgia did not prepare for a backup quarterback to come into the game. and that's why he succeeded against them, because Alabama's original running back, Jalen Hurts, is a running, or quarterback, is a running quarterback. Tua is not. He is a thrower of the football, and that's what he was able to do. Also, their other running backs for Alabama did not get anything going. Bo Scarborough and Damian Harris. They rushed for 40 total yards. And because Georgia did a good job of eliminating them from that category. But then they brought in somebody by the name of Najee Harris, who carried the ball 6 times for 64 yards, and he is also a true freshman. So Alabama won this game because they brought in a true freshman quarterback in the second half, a true freshman running back, and they did a good job, and they were able to come back. Plain and simple. Georgia didn't prepare, and that's why Skip was giving a lot of disrespect to Alabama for not being able to run the football, was where my overall point was at. But it was because they prepared for other people, and they probably didn't prepare well enough for backups or third string backups, as in Najee Harris, the running back. So that's my first point. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Skip, I'm sorry. A little wrong on that, but you know what? That's all right. I got my little notes here. Sorry about that. Can't remember everything in this brain. Not big enough. So now we are going to move on to a different category, and that's going to be the NFL playoffs, because that's been going on this weekend and the weekend before. Lots of big things going on. As you guys know, the Patriots, Jaguars, Vikings, and Eagles are the 4 remaining teams left. And those quarterbacks, those include Tom Brady, Blake Bortles, Case Keenum, and Nick Foles. Now, somebody does not belong in that sentence, and that is Tom Brady. And let me tell you why. Because Tom Brady has 5 Super Bowl wins. 5. And let's see how many starts Keenum, Bortles, and Foles have between them in the playoffs. It's 5. 4 of them being this year. That's crazy. That's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Completely. So, obviously, not the best ratio there for wins and Super Bowl wins. But I digress. So, now we had the worst thing I saw on TV, which was Skip Bayless and his Oklahoma rant, or his Georgia rant, Alabama. Now we're going to look at the best thing I saw on TV this week. And his name was Rob Parker on The Herd, which is also on FS1. And what he said, this was very good. He was talking about the Jaguars against the Steelers. Jaguars are known for one thing, and that's their defense. And their defense is extremely well. One of the best defenses ever, actually, statistically. And they allowed 42 points to the Steelers yesterday. And yet they still won the game, 45-42. I think that shows you that the Jaguars just played a horrible defensive game, and they still won with Blake Bortles as their quarterback against one of the best high-powered offenses in the National Football League. That is crazy. And that is why Rob Parker gives Jacksonville such a good chance against New England, because your defense disappeared, you still won the game. Imagine if your defense showed up half the game. Then you'd probably win. But the thing is, and I'm going to say this now, my favorite teams in sports are the Sacramento Kings, being from Sacramento, the San Francisco Giants, another close team to Sacramento, and surprisingly, the New England Patriots. So when I talk about any of these 3 teams, I'll probably be a little biased. And that's where I'm going to come into play now, is I give Jacksonville a shot at beating the Patriots. Absolutely. Their defense is very good. But I'm also envisioning something. I really am. And what I'm envisioning is Tom Brady at 40 years of age carving like a nice turkey on Thanksgiving. Ooh, my mouth is salivating. Carving up that defense to a pulp. I thoroughly believe, and this is true to my heart, not just because I'm a huge Tom Brady fan and Patriots fan, that they will win this game handily. Their defense is great. I will give them that 100%. Jacksonville is a great team, great defense. I don't trust their offense. They do have Leonard Fournette, who rushed for over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns against the Steelers. The Steelers' defense is one of the worst in the league. But the Patriots did have one of the worst defenses in the league in the first half. But their defense in the second half of the league was very impressive. And that's what people are underestimating. First of all, that's my first point. Second of all, the Patriots have somebody by the name of Rob Gronkowski. Not sure if you've heard of him. About a 6'6", 6'7", 270, 60-pound man of a tight end. He is not coverable. You can put anybody on Jacksonville on him. You can double him, and he still will find a way to get his yards. And that's what I am confident that Tom Brady will be able to expose in that Jacksonville defense. And so I'm not too worried about Jacksonville. I think I'd rather face them, honestly, than the Steelers, because the Steelers have the potential of scoring those 42 points in that game, and I do not believe Jacksonville will score 45 points against the New England Patriots defense. That's where I'm at with that. So that's the best thing I saw on TV. Good with that. Now, I'm going to talk about Tom Brady just for 1 second, about how could you not give him the MVP for this year. He threw for almost 4,600 yards. Let's see, I'm reading this right. 32 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. That's a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. And oh yeah, he's 40 years old. That's about 20 years older than me, last time I checked. So I don't know how you could not give the MVP to him. There are some great other players like Todd Gurley who did great rushing and receiving for a Rams team that came out of nowhere almost. Russell Wilson was another great player, and Antonio Brown, of course, for the Steelers. But there's only one player who's still left in the playoffs, and that has a chance of winning the MVP, and that's Tom Brady. So I don't know. My case is kind of closed with that. Moving on to Super Bowl predictions. Obviously, I believe the Patriots will be there. I have to. That's my goal. That's my job. Now, for that Minnesota Vikings and Philadelphia Eagles game, I believe that will be the game of the weekend this week, and I see the Vikings winning that game. Their defense is very good with Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks in that linebacker position leading the way, and their quarterbacks kind of emerged out of nowhere. Case Keenum, he's their third string, and he's done a great job, and he continues to start even though Bradford and Bridgewater are healthy at this point. And I feel like they will have enough to overtake the Eagles, even though the Eagles do have a good defense. But Minnesota's just kind of, overall, they got the overall picture together. They got their team built a certain way to win that game. So I'm going to give that one to them. Moving around the association of all the sports, I'm going to move next to the NBA real quick. Warriors, Cavs. I think we're looking pretty good. I don't know if you've noticed. Warriors are pretty much a lock, I believe, even though the West has gotten that much better. I just don't see any team in the West beating the Warriors in a 4 out of 7 game series. They will lose their games here and there, but I can maybe see the Thunder or Rockets or even Minnesota beating them once, maybe twice, probably once though, because they did sweep their way last year, but better teams. That's all right. I'll give it to them. The Cavs, on the other hand, they will have a much more difficult challenge getting there, I believe, even though some might see that differently, because they have the Celtics to worry about. They have Toronto to worry about. Washington's always kind of there. But I think those two are the really keen on those two. And the Celtics obviously acquiring Kyrie in the offseason for Isaiah Thomas to the Cavs. So we'll see how that plays out. But I see those two teams getting there. And obviously I think the Warriors will win. Another close team to Sacramento, but not a team I like too much. Now going to go to this segment of WSU Sports, because that's the school I go to, Washington State University, and I'm going to talk about their basketball team because I happen to work for them. And this past Saturday, they got their first conference win. They are now 9-8, and one man by the name of Robert Franks scored 34 points on 10 of 13 from three-point range. He broke the record for three-pointers, and he was actually beat out our assistant coach, who was on the bench, and he was kind of chuckling about that, so that was a good time. And it was shocking that Klay Thompson, a former Coug, now on the Warriors, did not have that record to begin with, because he is obviously one of the best three-point shooters in NBA history already in 6-7 years he's been in the league. So very good, very happy for Robert. His nickname's Robo. Maybe you saw somebody by the name of Jeff Pollard. He was rowing a boat on the sideline when Robert Franks made that three to break the record. And actually, there's somebody There's somebody right here. I'd love for you to meet. Let's bring him in. Oh, his name. Oh, right here. His name is Jeff Pollard. Here's the man himself that's been trending on Twitter just a little bit. Pac-12 Network did tweet about him, and he was rowing the boat, because rowboat, everything. Is that how that worked out?
It works. Good. Yeah,
it works.
It works.
So
it all fits together.
Yeah. So what year are you on the WSU basketball team?
Currently a sophomore.
As am I. Sorry to take the attention away from you. So you are a sophomore, and what position do you play?
Forward.
How tall are you?
6'9" on a good day.
6'9". See, a little bit of a height difference, and we still are sitting. And I will sit up straight, and he can sit up straight, and we're still very much of a difference. And what's your favorite thing about this team? What do you enjoy most about playing with WSU basketball?
This team just has a real good energy about it.
Oh, yeah?
When we get rolling, we all start having fun. And that energy, it's real contagious.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody just feeds off it. It makes for a really good time.
Oh, yeah. See? Good stuff right there. Now, who would you say is your best friend on the basketball team?
Best friend on the basketball team?
Best friend on the basketball team. And everyone's going to be seeing it. Everyone's going to know this after you say it. So,
the
whole world.
Obviously, not to pick favorites or anything, but, my guy, Devontae Cooper.
Ooh.
Gotta be Devontae.
Now, why is that?
He's just one of the goofiest guys I've ever met. He's just so funny. He keeps me laughing all the time.
Oh, yeah?
All the time.
Now, Devontae Cooper is a 6'11" forward. Lengthy guy. I'm going to tell you something. Funny guy. He is very funny. I know him a little personally myself. Now, how would you say the season's gone for you so far? You had a little bit of injury to begin with. Talk about that. See how you've recovered from that. Let me know where things are at.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, I had a concussion.
Okay.
And so, I had to sit out couple, I think 3 or 4 games, and that kind of threw a little wrench, I guess, in things because I was getting geared up, ready for the season, and boom, the first 4 games had to sit out. Yeah. So, that was kind of a struggle, but that's another thing you just got to take in stride and move on and keep going with. But I feel like I've gotten in a pretty good groove in terms of figuring out things with this team and everything. I feel like we're figuring out, we're constantly figuring out, how to keep growing as a team and
Absolutely.
all that stuff.
Absolutely. And you are now 9-8 overall record and 1-4 in conference. How did it feel to get that first conference win? I know those 4 games, some of those were really close. Some of those you maybe should have won, which they probably should have. But, past is the past. We're looking forward. And you got that 1 win. How'd that feel?
Sum it up in 3 words. It's about time. Because
there you go.
Because, yeah, like you said, we were so close in some of those first games, let them slip away and stuff. And so, to get this one, before going on the road next week, big time.
So now you did mention going on the road next week. They will face Utah and Colorado next week. You being from Utah, Bountiful to be exact, for all your Bountiful fans, yep.
Represent B-Town.
What does it mean to play in the state of Utah, probably in front of your friends and family, and if possible, beating Utah, who didn't really recruit you too much back there?
Yeah, it didn't recruit me at all. I'm just excited to go back and play because, I've played in the Huntsman Center before in high school, state tournaments, all that stuff. But I am excited to go back and play in front of my family because, they don't get opportunities to watch me very often. So it'll be cool to go back, play in front of them. I got friends coming to the game and everything and stuff. I know a few guys on the team too, so I think it'll be fun. It'll be a good road trip.
Definitely. Now, what would you say the biggest difference has been from your first year as a freshman? Because you played a decent amount as a freshman, a little bit. You got a little time in here and there. Yeah. And now, obviously, a much bigger role this year. Mm-hmm. What's been the difference? Has it been a little difficult to get yourself into that lineup, or has it been fun? Has it been easy?
It's been different. It's been a big change because last year we had Josh Hawkinson, Connor Clifford. That was kind of our guys. As far as terms of post play and that being my position, I was kind of working my way, getting minutes here and there in between when they were out and stuff. So, and my role was kind of surrounded. It was kind of defined by how they were playing. So whereas this year, it was they left. They graduated, and it was up in the air as to in terms of who was going to get those minutes. And so, it was a long summer. It was a long preseason practice and stuff. And, I feel good about kind of the little role and the little niche I've carved out for myself. Mm-hmm.
Now, you said you were 6'9", correct? 6'8", 6'9". So, and Devontae Cooper, I said he was 6'11". He doesn't play too much because he's still developing. He's a young guy. Oh, would you look at that? Dang. That is just an absolute shame if I've ever heard one. So I'm going to stop that timer because it's pretty annoying. But that does mean we are officially out of time. I want to thank Jeff Pollard for all of his help today. He's done a great work. I mean, that interview, 4 or 5 minutes, one of the best interviews of my life. Might have been my only one, but that's okay.
That's what I'm here for.
That's what he's here for. He's also my roommate, if you guys didn't know that. So that's why he's easy access. He might be on the show a lot. Well, he's what we call
I'm a regular guest.
He's a regular. He's a regular guest. Look at that.
Regular guest.
He knew exactly. So that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank you all for tuning in, all 0 of you. And we hope to see you back next week. And as always, stay thirsty, my friends.